day today, different than most of the other days here at Charles Schwab Field. Welcome into a pregame edition of the Rubber Match. As always, I'm Evan Kamigo, joined by, for the first time this entire season, Jacob Morris. Jacob, it's a little late to have you on, but we're glad you're here.
No better time, right? Elimination game back against the wall, College World Series. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Excited to have you. Well, we'll set the stage for you really quickly. Arkansas, they lose to LSU in game one. We've talked about that in plenty of depth. Then they go on, they beat Murray State behind a gauge with no-hitter. Then last night they beat UCLA 7-3. Really should have been 7-0, but some late defensive miscues for the Razorbacks in that game allowed UCLA to get some runs on the board in the ninth. So far, Jacob, what are your thoughts on Arkansas?
Well, obviously not the game that anybody wanted in terms of game one. Cade Anderson had his way. I know you've talked about that plenty. Arkansas's offense looked anemic. It looked like it didn't make the trip to Omaha, quite frankly. But encouraging the way that the Razorbacks bounced back. The pitching has been out of this world good since Zach Root got really pulled in the second inning there. And the bats found a way to find a little bit of a rhythm. You saw Arkansas score runs in different ways. I think that was encouraging. You had Vahiva Aloy with the big fly in the first inning, and then a triple as well. Creative base running from Cam Kojal. The offense has finally started to pick up a little bit of a rhythm, and that's going to need to be the case big time against an LSU team that's still got some bullets to fire.
And that's where we are. That's how we get set up in all of this. So Arkansas, they won the last two games. Now you're back in the College World Series semifinal, first time since 2022, and you're facing another SEC team in the semifinal. This time, the LSU Tigers, who have been an absolute wagon this postseason. Now you kind of go to this like best of three series in a sense, where LSU won game one. Here Arkansas is. You've got to win two to stay alive. And tonight, it's the question of the pitching matchup. Who's going to be on the mound for both sides of the teams? The last time these two teams faced, when Arkansas didn't have to face Anthony Ianson and Cade Anderson, they actually won the game, and they did so with a combination of pitchers between Dylan Carter, Landon Beidelshees, Parker Coyle got in there, Aiden Jimenez, you name it. They probably pitched him. Cole Gibler, Christian Fouch all saw time in Baton Rouge. But who is going to be key? Who do you think is going to start tonight?
I think it's going to be Beidelshees. We'll see in a few hours, quite frankly, who it's going to be. But it's going to be how you described. Yeah. When you get to this point in the Men's College World Series, it's just patchwork. DVH, he alluded to that yesterday. Do you have a plan? He got asked post-game after the win over UCLA, and he said, when do we have to turn in the card? That's about when we'll know who's pitching, right? So that's going to be the key for Arkansas. The good news is you saved a whole lot of bullets with the way that this has gone in terms of, obviously, Zach was able to pitch yesterday, and then Jimenez goes out, he pitches really well too. Gage throws 9 innings. You don't waste any arms there. So Arkansas has got a lot of high leverage guys ready to go. You talked through a lot of them. The fact that Parker Coyle, quite literally the best relief arm in the entire country when he's been healthy, is available, that's big as well. It's going to be patchwork. It's going to be feel. You have to get to Thursday, so you throw all the guys that you can today if you're Arkansas.
Yeah, it's been the MO of DVH and company of we're going to win the game at hand. It's what they did against Murray State. Luckily, they didn't have to go to the bullpen because the Gage went no-hitter. And it's what they did last night against UCLA until really the end of the game, where you just kind of throw Will McIntyre and say, here's your swan song, kid, have fun. And again, you saw the offense come alive. That's something that you kind of touched on a little earlier. Vahiva early in the game, and then kind of you got some insurance at the end. Is it concerning to you that really Reese Robinette, Justin Thomas Jr., Charles Davlon, and Vahiva Aloy are really the only Hogs that have gotten going so far?
I mean, I guess it's kind of take your pick in terms of whether you want to be concerned about it. Sure, you would like production 1 through 9. At the same time, I think you can look at it from a positive light as well in terms of your 9-hole hitter has been fantastic. And Brent Iredale, who was in the 8th spot, he found a rhythm as well. So really, this team is starting to find, I'm just going to keep saying rhythm over and over again. The bats are starting to get a little bit hotter. And sure, it was a UCLA team that had used a whole lot of arms. But, I mean, you'll take what you can get in that capacity. And Vahiva Aloy has been fantastic. He's been consistent, and you expect that from him. Now it's about getting essentially, what would it be, about 3 through 8 to find a rhythm here. We haven't seen much from a guy like Ryder Helfrich. He's had such a good postseason. Maybe he has a breakout tonight as well. It's about finding consistency through the lineup. You're going to need it against LSU.
Yeah, Logan Maxwell as well, one of the guys who broke out a little bit last night with a big double to extend the Arkansas lead. But to your point, you haven't seen it a lot from the guys. What are your kind of expectations tonight, not only inside the field, on the field, but in the crowd?
In terms of the crowd,
Yeah.
I think it'll be a great crowd just from the standpoint that it's the two largest fan bases remaining, right? And just from a spectator perspective, we don't even need to say this. It's the marquee matchup in terms of that's what we were so excited for in round one, and now you get it once and hopefully twice. So you're going to get that 3 different times. I think it's going to be a great atmosphere, and what I've loved, you've been in the clubhouse post-game as well, this team is having fun and embracing kind of the do-or-die mentality, right? We talked with Rocco Pepe, we talked with a couple other guys that just said, what is our other option, right? You know, there's nothing to lose at this point. You just go out and you play baseball. Parker Coyle phrased it as, it's the same game you've been playing since you're 4 years old. I love that aspect. I expect to see a loose Arkansas team. We've seen a loose Arkansas team all year long. Why not on this stage as well? It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and these guys love each other. They want to play even more. Cam Kojal saying that, Charles Davalon saying that. So we've heard all of these guys say we just want to play more baseball. Logan Maxwell excited to get under the crack. And look, everybody's looking forward to this matchup against LSU, the Arkansas dugout included. But Jacob, for you, if Arkansas wants to win, X has to happen.
The pitching has to keep showing up, and it's tough to continue to place more responsibility on a staff that since Zach Root came out, it's been 25 1/3 innings pitched, 41 strikeouts, 2 earned runs. That's pretty darn good. So it's hard to lay it on the pitching again, but that's just what it is. You saw it in the LSU game. Obviously, you're going to need run production, but you have to hold a LSU lineup that's really powerful, really strong, and can hurt you in a variety of ways. You have to hold them down through a kind of just compilation of different bullpen arms and go from there. Obviously, the offense has to show up as well, but if it's Vital Shees, he has to give you a quality start, and then the arms that come in afterwards that we haven't seen really pitch in Omaha, they have to deliver as well.
And really in the postseason, we haven't seen Dylan Carter yet. You've seen Parker Coyle a couple of times, if that, really one time in North Dakota State. And that wasn't even a high leverage opponent that you're playing there. So you need to see them showing up. You need to see them getting good starts. The one thing that I will say that made me more confident is Aiden Jimenez, how he looked yesterday, because he's been a guy that's been struggling in the postseason. So to see him turn around and have a good start here in Omaha, the stage gets bigger and these guys get a little bit sharper.
Yeah, and take it for what it's worth. Aiden talked about it. Parker Coyle talked about it when we spoke with them in the clubhouse. They talked about this is contagious. When you see a guy do what Gage Wood did, that makes Zach Root get competitive and say, I want to do the same thing. And Aiden said, it was the same for me. You know, I have to take my opportunity. You watch guys, guys that you train with, guys in the bullpen shove the way that they did. You want to do the same. Take it for what it's worth. Of course, everybody always wants to perform well, but I think that's something the bullpen's got going for.
And the biggest question of all, when is Gabe Gackle going to be back? 90 pitches on Saturday. Today is what? Wednesday? Wednesday, so 4 days rest right now. So when is Gabe Gackle going to come back? That's the big question. Any prediction before we go?
I think Arkansas wins today. Now, I could look like a total idiot. I thought they would win on Friday or Saturday, whatever it was as well. But I think you set up what everybody wants, which is a winner-take-all for the championship series between Arkansas and LSU. And then you're going to have all types of questions for both teams, pitching-wise. I think Arkansas gets it done. I'll say 7-5. I think the Razorbacks are going to have to score runs in order to win. If they don't, they lose. So I'm going to predict 7 runs as a result.
Yeah, I like 8-3. I think kind of similar to yesterday. Again, maybe you'll see Ianson if this game gets close. Maybe he'll start. We have no idea. We're about 5 or 6 hours before first pitch. I can give you an actual time. 4 hours and 15 minutes before first pitch. 17 minutes? 17 minutes? Well, that's just what we do out here on the Rubber Match. We have some fun. Jacob, big thanks for coming on this week, today. I don't even know what day it is, guys. We're just here. We're having a blast outside Charles Schwab Field. That's going to do it for this LSU Round 2 pregame edition of the Rubber Match. That's Jacob Morris. I'm Evan Camico. We'll talk to you very soon.